I haven't been on Facebook Live in a while. I've been paying attention to what's going on in the Democrats and the Republican parties, and they're not surprising the hell out of me. Let's put it that way. I have issues with media still. They don't want to talk to us independents, which is fine. You know, I've been getting out, communicating with the people of Metro Detroit. I've been up in Saginaw just recently. I had a great event up there. I was invited by the El Paso Bar and Grill, great family-owned business. I'd like to thank Angie and Eric for inviting me up there to speak with the customers of their bar. You know, it's a great way into the Hispanic community, and I look forward to speaking with them again. We're going to be hosting a event there Eric offered to, and I'd like to take them up on that eventually. But where I'm having issues is my campaign doesn't seem to make Lansing happy. We need, real change here in Michigan, and I guess I represent too much change for Michigan is what I'm being told. And that kind of, pardon my language, pisses me off, because we really do need real change in Michigan. I'm out there speaking about lowering auto insurance here in Michigan, and the state's saying they'll try to lower the auto insurance. There's no trying about it. It has to be done. Health insurance is an issue in Michigan. It's getting ready to go up another 50% for those of you who don't know that. That's just an issue that needs to be taken. We need to take care of our house first. And I am so looking forward to this 2018 election cycle, because it gives us Michiganders the chance to clean house. All 110 state rep seats are up for election. All 38 Senate seats are up for election. This gives Michigan a chance to literally clean house. I have issues with Bill Schuette. Quite a bit of the groups that I've been speaking with lately, I'm getting a lot of response from, because they don't like Bill Schuette. Personally, the man is just as responsible for what's going on in Flint as Schneider is. I will not be governor, because to me, he's lower than the snake in the grass. And I know there's some people out there that won't like my language on calling these people for what they really are. And the whole system is rigged against any of us that want to run for office, as long as we're not claiming to be part of the parties. And what I mean by part of the parties, either we're a Democrat or a Republican. That has to change, because if you remember right, the definition of an insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting change. We're not getting change as long as we stick with the two parties. The only way that we're going to get change is somebody who can break outside the box, bring change to Michigan. I found a phrase, or a quote, I should say, that really resonated with me. I'm going to pull it up here real quick, because it made me think. The quote is, "Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change." And that's what I represent for Michigan. Yes, I have my moments. People in my past know me. I was a rebellious person or youth, and I am rebelling against the system here in Michigan. Apologies for what I want to change here in Michigan. We have corruption running wild in our courts. We have corruption running wild in Lansing. So these are things that we need to take care of, and the only way to take care of them is to put somebody in there who's going to do what they say they're going to do. We elect, right now you got the two strongest candidates out there is Bill Schuette for the Republicans, Gretchen Whitmer for the Democrats. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I would like to get your opinion on this, You know, one of the most corrupt things that we have going on in our country is politicians and courts. There's one thing that these two things have in common between our government and our courts. The majority of the people running these two organizations are lawyers. Okay, and I don't care if you're a lawyer. I apologize for you because you're part of the corruption. Most of our lawyers would do whatever it takes to win. And if you think I'm lying, just pay attention to what's going on in our society right now. You know, the lawyers, they'll lie, cheat, steal even just to get what they need or what they want to do is win. They have a win-loss category that they have to level or balance out. Bear with me, I'm tired tonight, but I'm still going through with this. The whole thing is, if they don't have more wins in that category, the win box there, they can't get in to be a partnership and make all these hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. So they do whatever they can. Pay it. If you look at who our representatives are, the majority of them, especially in the federal government, those in Congress, those in Senate, the majority of them are lawyers. So if we have this common denominator of corruption in our system being lawyers, then maybe we ought to put them into my box of accountability. I want to hold, like I've said over and over, I want people to hold me accountable when I win the governorship. I want you also to be able to hold other representatives accountable. I want you to be able to hold the judges accountable. I want you to be able to hold our law enforcement accountable. The only way that we're going to be able to do any of this is to put somebody in office that's not Republican or a Democrat. The reason I say this is because if you pay attention to what's gone on through our history, every one of the people who come out want to run for office have all started out with good intentions. The only problem is when they're aligned with one of these two parties, they are corrupted from the beginning because the party tells them what they can and cannot do, or steer the direction the parties want them to go. This crap has to stop. If you're going to run for office, keep your promises to the people. Too many of our representatives have let us down. We need to stop this. I'm trying to keep the language polite tonight. It doesn't look good if I'm going to come out over here and start cussing and all that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try not to do it. But the whole thing is, we have to make change in Michigan. That change starts with our representation. I helped a state rep get elected up in the Thumb area. I asked him to endorse my campaign. He cannot because he has to support his party. So that was a lesson for me. Now I'm out here supporting every independent for office here in Michigan for the simple fact we need to start sticking together. We need, right now, our signature drive, we need just under 14,000 more signatures in 3 months. Then we are going to turn them into Lansing again for the third time. They've never had an independent that I can think of or remember or even find in all the internet here in Michigan, that is, running for governor to ever turn in enough signatures. We've turned enough signatures in twice, but we've been shut down because they said we've had many unregistered voters. What I'm asking, all my rantings that I'm going to be starting to do, again, I'm going to start getting back into my Facebook Live from my infamous green room here. We need to start gathering volunteers to finish up these signatures in our next 90 days. We have a new website coming out by the end of this month. It's been revamped, a new look, basically has all the same information that I've been pushing for a little over a year and a half. We are going to start pushing for donations. We are going to start pushing for volunteers. We need to make change here in Michigan. The way I can do it is with you, the people helping out. I can't do this all on my own, and I'm asking for your support. We are going to start hosting meet and greets all around Michigan. If you want to host one of these at your homes or your businesses, get in touch with Chris Rusin. He will set it up. We will come up to you. If you just want to speak, or my part of my campaign committee to come up there and speak with you, we'll come up there and speak with you. We have no problem with getting out and meeting with the people. Wow, Brendan, I see you joined us. I appreciate that. Vote for me, but you can listen to me. I'll take all the viewers I can get. If you have any questions, I will answer your questions. That's why I started coming on Facebook Live months ago, but I've been busy. I've been forced to go back, and so they've been farther in between. But I am going to bring them back out, because this is how I get my information out to you. We are getting ready to flood social media as much as I can with all this information. We're going to be pointing out what's going on with Schuette, what's going on with Gretchen Whitmer. And I'll tell you one thing that really pisses me off with these two. Both of them are lawyers, don't get me wrong. Go back and look at their court case history, okay? This is something that is going on all around our nation, and it's real heavily in the Detroit metro area and in Lansing. These two, as attorneys, when Gretchen was the prosecuting attorney in Ingham County, if you look at their case files, they're both over 50% of the cases were from the community. Now, if you look at the history of all this, not their history, I should say, if you had a black man or woman committing the same crime as a man or woman, the black community portion of this, or the black person of this crime, was sentenced to nearly a third longer to prison sentences, or for a third, or sometimes up to 50% higher. This is the kind of stuff we got to stop. We need to unify our state, not divide it. The two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, are literally dividing our communities. We need to find a way to unify our communities and bring Michigan back to where it needs to be, where I believe it can be. I had a Facebook person ask me if I was part of the Make America Great Again campaign, and back a response to her. I said, no, I'm more about making Michigan great again. My concerns are based here in Michigan. I care less what goes on with the Fed, because what people don't realize is the governor actually has more authority within his state than the actual president does. I could care less with what's going on. Plans, like I've told many people, electing me governor will save the average working family between $6,000 and $12,000 annually. By restructuring our entire tax system here in Michigan, effectively eliminating loopholes, eliminating your property tax on your primary residence only. These three things will save you that kind of money. Eliminating your property tax on your primary residence, lowering health insurance by 50%, lowering auto insurance from 47% to 70%. And it's all within our state's abilities to do. They don't want to take on the insurance companies. And this is part of what pisses me off. You've got a bill now in Lansing that they're going to try to lower auto insurance in Michigan. Mayor Duggan, who more than likely is going to be reelected within the next couple of weeks, says that he needs to find a way to lower auto insurance in Detroit. It's real simple. You tell the auto insurance industry that this has to stop. We need to go back to an at-fault state. There's 12 states in our country, in this nation, that are no-fault states. Every one of the insurance companies are making money hand over fist. You don't believe me? Follow the money. And if you really want to follow the money even more, look to see how much the insurance industry has put into both these two parties' coffers. It's nearly $10 million they've put in both parties' political coffers so that they can, they're hedging their bets. It doesn't matter if a Democrat wins or a Republican wins. This is the part that I don't like that's in our politics. You have corporate lobbyists buying our politicians, and nobody is even caring how much they're putting in there and who they're buying out. Us, as the people of Michigan, have no say in it. Well, this election cycle, 2018, you have a chance to have your voice heard. Do not vote for any of these politicians that are incumbents. Do not vote for a Democrat. Do not vote for a Republican. Vote for our independent parties and see the difference that we come up with. These are people who don't want to align themselves with these two corrupt parties. You know, this is where we have to make our change. We're having technical difficulties there, Rick. And I hope to make it on the ballot too, Jay, but we do need to get some help from volunteers. We need just under 14,000 more signatures in a 90-day period. So if any of you want to volunteer or help out to get these signatures, I will come right directly to you and hand you the petitions. No matter where you live in Michigan, I will find a way to get them to you, even if I have to mail them to you. These issues are not going to be changed unless we, the people, make the changes. I don't know why we're having so many difficulties here. I'm looking at some of these that we're having some pixelation, and maybe it'll be better after it's done and it's uploaded onto Facebook, even though we're live right now. But either way, I'm reaching out to the people of Michigan. We need to get these signatures in. Once these signatures are in, the Democrats and the Republicans are going to know that there's a serious candidate who's nipping at their heels, who's out here for the people. Bill Schuette right now, and Brian Calley, who hasn't even declared, our lieutenant governor, they're preaching to the people saying that we need part-time legislature. We already have a part-time legislature. They only work 100 days a year, and they've already screwed everything up that way. I want them to work like you and I, Monday through Friday, and work for the amount of money. We need to make these changes. And people say, well, we need less of them working in there. Well, let me give you an idea, okay? With them working only 100 days out of the year, we're getting bills that are hidden behind other bills, and they're getting read, and they're being passed by lobbyists because and our state reps and our state senators. This is why I don't agree with the part-time legislation. If you run for state office, you need to work, every man and woman in this country does, Monday, a full work week, let's put it that way. I'm going to say Monday through Friday. Because they're sure to hell not walking around in our communities staying in touch with the people, even on those days off. I've got a worthless senator that's less than a mile from my house, and he never leaves his house. term he's moving to Boca Raton, Florida, so he doesn't have to pay the retirement tax that they so kindly put on all our retired people here in Michigan. You know, they're already living on a fixed income. Why make it hard? They don't care. The problem is they don't care is why Michigan's in the shape it is. The only way we're going to get change is by changing and cleaning our house here in the state of Michigan. And I mean, elect everybody you can that is an independent, and I'll guarantee you you'll see changes here because we don't have to fight what the Republican Party wants or the Democratic Party wants. I'm looking forward to that challenge when I can look at them and say, this has nothing to do with the people of Michigan. This has something to do with lining your pocket, and we're not going to do it. The idea is to make things better for the people of Michigan, not better for the legislatures and the senates here in Michigan. And I'll tell you this, you, an independent governor, especially me, I'll guarantee you all of the other governors take notice of what I'm doing here in Michigan. We do have one independent governor here in the United States, but that's in Alaska. Okay, it's still part of the United States, and I don't understand why he's not doing things that he should be doing up there, but it's a different part of the country, so I can't answer for his reasonings. But I can tell you here, I'll guarantee you they'll pay attention to what I'm doing here in the state of Michigan, not the other way around. Might even piss off Washington. Do I care? No. I've lived a good 52 years. I'm happy if my life was ended today. I don't care. What I care about is what we do for the people of Michigan. So if I can get 100 people by the end of this month to volunteer to help get these a little less than 14,000 signatures done and turned in, we'll put the fear into the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, because then we'll have the first independent candidate on the ballot for governor. Something that has never happened here in Michigan. So this is where I'm trying to come out to you. This is where I'm fighting my own anger, because I keep being turned away from our media sources. The only media sources I have to play on when I get onto these radio stations. I've been on Superstation 910 quite a few times. And thank you to the Superstation for allowing me to come and speak to the people. As far as television media, I've only been on one that stands out, and that's NBC Wood TV Channel 8 in Grand Rapids. I was on the Rick Albin show, To the Point. That video is on the new website. We've had it all over Facebook, and we're going to keep it sharing, keep bringing more videos to you. We're getting ready to put out our op-eds so that you can understand what I'm fighting for and where I'm coming from. We need to make changes in Michigan to unify our communities, not divide them like our two-party system is doing. They are dividing the people. I don't care if you're black, white, purple, or green. The anger and undecisiveness has to stop. We need to unify and elect people who are actually going to do the job for the working man and woman. Any of you interested in running for office, go out and run for office. Get in there and start helping our communities. We need to fight for what's right for the citizens of Michigan. What they're doing with legalization of marijuana. Right now they're making it so, excuse me, so that these dispensaries have $300,000 cash in order to open up a dispensary. That's opening the door for corporatists to come in that have that kind of money in liquidations in order to open a dispensary. I want it legalized here in Michigan, but I want it so it's only Michiganders running it. I don't want Canada coming and opening up these pharmacies and dispensaries for the people of Michigan. I want residents of Michigan to be able to do this, to create jobs for the people of Michigan. I don't want other states coming in here and doing the same thing in that line only. if Michigan legalizes marijuana, whether it be recreational or just medicinal, it needs to be run by the people of Michigan so that we create those jobs for the people of Michigan. I don't want to create jobs for other states where the money goes out of our state into their state. I want it to stay here in Michigan. This is what I'm fighting for. This is because everything I put together for my gubernatorial run is based on 80% of the people of Michigan and the lives of 80%. I'd love to say 100%, but I can't make 100% of you happy, and I realize that. People tell me I need to set the goals a little lower because 80% is too high. I believe in the challenge. If I didn't believe in that challenge, I wouldn't be running for governor for the state of Michigan as an independent. These are the things I'm trying to change. These are the things that I'm trying to make better for the people of Michigan. So, again, I need volunteers to get the last of these, just 15,000 signatures. We need to get those done. We need to get them turned into Lansing. And that's just to set, that's at the goal of 35,000. So if we get more than that, fine. I'll take whatever we get and take them to Lansing. But I need your volunteerism. We need to get these signatures in. We need to start raising the funds to take on these two parties. I'm not asking you to give me your life savings or anything. I'm asking you for your time to help get these signatures in. After we get the signatures in, then I might ask you for half your savings, and I'm just joking on that. I would never do that to anybody. I'm not one of these people. I take only from the people of Michigan for their donations. And Chris, you're probably going to yell at me. I'm staying away from the corporate donations. Doesn't matter. That's the way I feel. That's the way it's going to be done. This stuff that we have going on, we cannot keep doing the same thing and over. It is not going to change by us electing another Republican or a Democrat. It has to be an independent. Hell, it could even be a Green Party. It's something different than what we've been doing for the last 180 years. That's pretty good. I just did that out of the blue. I just happened to remember 1838, or 37, excuse me. We have to make those changes. And again, that quote like I found, and I'll tell you, Jim Rohn is the one that I found this quote on, and he's absolutely right. You know, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And as my final thought before I get off here, because I am a Lions fan, I have to go watch my Lions win or lose, but they're going to win. We need to make the change. And in order to make the change, if you believe we need that change as much as I do, get involved. Reach out to Chris Rusin. His email is crusin@schleigerforgovernor2018.com. Sign up. Help us get these signatures. Help us make this run for governor a success. Because everybody's families in Michigan depends on this. Insurance, like I said, health insurance is getting ready to take a 50% hike on most of your insurance policies. Blue Cross Blue Shield is one of them that's going up. I believe the other one is Cigna. So don't be shocked or surprised when it happens, because it's going to happen. They've already been putting it out there that it's going up. Auto insurance took a hike in auto insurance in January. But guess what? Or excuse me, June. We're getting close to January again. It's going to go up again the first of the year because they're not making enough money. The MCCA, they're for the Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account. Do you realize that's nearly $20 billion that's in there? Not one of them pennies for that $20 billion is invested in our state, but yet it's all our money. It's all the Michiganders' money in there. It isn't from other state. It's all Michigan. Not one dime is invested in our state. It's invested in California, Florida, Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio because they say they can't make enough money here in Michigan. Well, damn it, it's our money. It needs to be invested here in our state. And on that note, again, we need change in Michigan. Again, I am reaching out to you for your support to help finish up these just under 14,000 signatures that we need. Please get in touch with Chris Rusin. If you want to contact me personally, my phone number, and I'll state this out on Facebook anyways, my phone number is 248-808-4889. I will answer your call. You all have a good evening. Thank you for listening to me. Again, we need to make these change. Only you can help. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for listening.